Have you ever had such a terrible day that you just wanted it to end? Did that terrible day ever keep you up at night, months or even years later? Well, hopefully this will make you feel better, but that day no longer exists. Yay! It doesn't exist. The only thing that's real right now is the memory you have of that day. Do you ever think of the future? Maybe how much money you'll make, who you'll fall in love with. Maybe you're thinking about what you're gonna have for dinner right now. Well, again, I'm here to tell you that those thoughts aren't real. They aren't your reality. The only thing that is real is the present, as it's happening right now. The present isn't even 5 minutes ago or 5 seconds ago. It's literally right now. So, what is our reality? Well, you might perceive it more materialistically. Maybe we're all just highly evolved monkeys that are living on a floating rock. Or maybe you perceive it more spiritually. Maybe we're all one combined consciousness, experiencing the universe through different perspectives. However you interpret this, these are also only illusions. They aren't real. Much like that of time. Time is an illusion. Albert Einstein himself showed that time is illusion, and he once had written in one of his journals, "People like us who believe in physics know the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." He showed that time can vary for different observers depending on your speed through space. This is known as Einstein's theory of special relativity. Basically, time speeds up or slows down depending on how fast you move relative to something else. A really good way to visualize this concept is to think of twins. If we were to place one twin on a rocket ship and she was traveling at the speed of light and the other twin stayed on Earth, upon the return of the first twin, she would notice that the twin that had stayed on Earth had aged more than she had. Another good way to visualize this concept is to imagine if you were to spend a year on top of Mount Everest. You can celebrate the new year 15 microseconds earlier than someone who had spent a year at sea level, because if you had spent a year at Mount Everest, you had been closer to the curvature of space-time due to Earth's mass. Once you get with the present, the illusion of time totally begins to disappear. You'll start noticing that days are you'll either have too much time or not enough time at all. How is that possible when we always have 24 hours in a day, yet when we're having a blast, time goes by fast, but when we just clocked into work, it feels like it takes an eternity? Maybe is this an example of Einstein's theory of special relativity? Maybe. The present is literally represented by a 1 second moment, or the smallest hand on your watch, right there. The present is commonly perceived as a and not as a. We think of the present as the turning point between the past and the future. We believe we are products of our past, so much so that it keeps us from being products of our present. When you have no time on your hands, you are too caught up with what you have to do later. You are not considering the present. With so much left to wonder, we get so lost in our imagined futures that we don't even get to fully experience the future when it really is our presence. In essence, it will become useless to make plans now, because when the time arrives, you will already be too busy thinking about something else. Is this all making sense? I hope you're staying with me. So, living in the past doesn't mean just dwelling on embarrassing moments or traumatic events. It could also stop you from growing. Maybe when you go out to dinner with a friend, you have her calculate the tip because you were bad at math in high school. Or maybe you have trust issues with your current boyfriend or girlfriend because in your past relationships, you didn't have the best communication skills. It's always easier to pass the blame of why we are the way we are than to accept the past and begin the change that needs to happen right now. Alan Watts, a philosopher, had once said, "We don't realize the past is caused by the present as the wake of a ship flows back from the prow. The wake doesn't drive the ship any more than the tail wags the dog." Living in the future isn't daydreaming either. It's thinking about what you'll do with your next paycheck or wishing it was the weekend already. All you gain from living in the future is the comfort of illusion and anxiety of uncertainty. Living in the future has no limit either. You could either be wishing it was 2 hours from now or 20 years from now. So right now, I encourage everyone who is watching this video to practice something called mindfulness. We do this every day, actually. It's the basic human ability to be fully present and aware of what we are doing and where we are. Simply observing thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they are happening. Whenever you're bringing awareness to your thoughts or your experiences, you're being mindful. A good place to start this process is doing something called mindful meditation. It's basically a mental training practice that teaches you how to slow down your racing thoughts and help calm your body and your mind. You might have already a technique that helps you do this, but basically, in essence, it involves deep breathing and thinking. To begin, get comfortable. Lay down or sit down somewhere relaxing. Take a deep breath. Notice your lungs inflate and your belly rise and fall. Notice your thoughts. Do not suppress them. Note them, actually. Imagine them as clouds floating by and shifting and changing. You won't be able to stop once you start being mindful. You'll do it while you brush your teeth, while you're driving your car, even while you're doing the dishes. So this practice wasn't only to help ground you in the present. There's actually a lot of benefits to mindful meditation. It's shown to reduce stress, help you sleep better, improve your immune system, and help you regulate your emotions better, according to the American Psychological Association. Harvard researchers even found that mindfulness can help reshape the structure of your brain. That's so cool, right? So, my advice to you is to live in your present, or you won't have lived at all. Don't be consumed by what ifs and if onlys. Appreciate your present, as it's the only moment you'll truly be able to physically experience. Take a deep breath and stop worrying about whether you're going to be too late or too early. Because when you live in a world where time doesn't exist, you will always be on time.